my life. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Victoria Day, May 2-4, whatever you want to call it if you're here in Canada. Happy Monday to the States. Yeah, so let us know what you're reading, how you're doing, all the good things. We'll start with us. Miss Lee, what are you reading?
I am reading Mr. Lemoncello's fabulous finale. I've got about a little over an hour left.
Nice. Tiffany, I know you're adding up points, but are you reading anything?
I am reading a couple things, actually 4 things. So I'm reading on audio A Ghostly Secret. It's like the 6th book in the Ghostly Southern series. I've been listening to it for a couple days. And then I just started a new romance today called The Match. It is the first book in one of Sarah Adams' series. She writes the When in Rome series.
Mm-hmm. It's the Charleston series.
What's that?
The Charleston.
Maybe.
I think so, because I've read the first book. I've read The Match.
She's a guide dog, not a guide dog, but service dog person. Yeah.
Yes.
I just started it. I really like Sarah Adams a lot.
It's cute.
I really like her When in Rome series, so I decided to start that. And then on ebook, I'm reading I don't know, it's a romance series I found on Kindle Unlimited. It's Nashville something. Not really sure. It's a bind up. The whole series was available. That's why I grabbed it.
Right.
And the first book has been very, very good. And it's about a romance between a campaign manager and the person who is running for governor. So it's been really fun because they can't be public, and I don't know. I've really enjoyed that. And then I'm e-reading The Last of Deadly Drafts, which is Courtney from Cortagonist's book that comes out May 27th. It is excellent. I'm like 86%, so I'm almost done, and it's very good. How about you? Awesome. That was I'm adding points to see if Sarah lives currently. That submissions go through 7:30. I'm just trying to get as caught up as I can. So when 7:30 hits, I'm not
yeah. I've got a couple books on the go as well. I've been doing quite a bit of reading today, actually, since I've been home, which has been kind of nice. But God, I've missed that. Why did I go back to work again? Stupid. Literally a half an hour ago, Garrett was up here. And he was going through the library, and I was looking at something he was asking something about James Patterson and how many books he has coming out. And I'm like, about 1 million books every month. But I went on Fantastic Fiction. I clicked, you fall down the rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Kristen Proby has a new series out. And I haven't read her in a long time, but she's a good author. Yes. And the first book in the series is available on Kindle Unlimited. It's like The Blackwells of Montana. But the first book is called When We Burn. And all I know about it is that it's a single dad firefighter. I'm
it's
like,
fantastic.
Please. Is it
I
good?
Just read it last month.
It's good. So
I either gave it 4 or 5 stars.
So now I'm extra excited. So that's what I'm going to start tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. The only thing I was upset about was the next book. Isn't it's new. So I'm like, no, there's not another one.
Yeah, you gotta wait now.
I think the next one is out already.
I know, but on audio.
Oh, on audio. Fair enough. Yeah, I just grabbed the ebook, right? So yeah. But yeah, I'm reading that, or I'm going to start that, and I've got the Takedown by Lucy Chu, which I'm still really enjoying. That one, and I've also got a Harlequin book. Now I had started this one, but I decided to put it down just because I've got too many books on the go right now. So I'd only gotten a chapter into it. And I'm like, not right now. We'll put it aside. There are so many books that I am seeing that are coming out for the summer that I am excited about. I think this is going to be the summer of the mood read. Honest to God. It's just going to be you know what I mean?
I gave it 5 stars.
Awesome. Thank you. I did find it on audio on Everand, but I'm going to start it with my eyeballs, I think, tonight. Because I've done a lot of audio today because I've been doing a lot of knitting and stuff. So I thought I just need to relax my ears. So let's jump into. So I did, for everybody in the chat, I did take over tonight if you weren't in the chat last night because Storm is having weather. And we don't know what was happening. And she messaged me this afternoon saying that the schools in her area, the kids were getting sent home early. So they're clearly concerned. So she asked me to take over. She may or may not pop in. We shall see. But we're going to jump in anyway. Hello, Pat. Hello, everyone. I am reading and finishing up Bait and Swiss by Karina Moss, number 6 of the Cheese Shop Mysteries. I'm 82% in and loving it. Definitely 5 stars. Will there be a number 7 in the Cheese Shop Mystery series? No, really?
No.
Aw.
Yeah, it is.
Was that her decision or the publisher's decision? Do you know? Or can you say?
It's she would have continued it.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll be like a Linda Riley situation where she'll, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Right?
Never
say never, I say.
That's right.
Pat says, don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you so much, Pat, our little cheerleader. I want to buy her pom-poms.
Right? I think about that all the time. She really should.
Right? Mary Jo, happy Monday, everyone. I'm still reading Regretting You by an author who shall not be named. Colleen Hoover. The Lost Cop. Hi, Lisa. I may or may not be joining you in the afterlife.
Right. We shall find out.
Yeah.
Very soon.
She says, hey, everyone, I'll be late joining. That's all right. I don't know what I'm going to read tonight. Maybe more of my Campfire and Corpses cozy mystery I am reading. That sounds fun.
Very nice.
Esther Jane, who we now know is Linda. Hello, Linda. Mysteries were solved last night. She says, hi, everyone. I'm still reading Cold-Blooded Myrtle, number 3 in the Myrtle Hardcastle series by Elizabeth C. Bunce. Hoping to get it finished tonight. You should be able to do that, hopefully. And she says, egg salad wrap for supper. That sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim says, hey, everyone, reading number 38 in the Campers and Criminals.
Wow. Nice.
And she says, probably cereal for dinner or mac and cheese. I approve of both.
I read that wrong to begin with. I thought she said cereal in mac and cheese, and I was like, I don't want to judge somebody, but that's different.
That's a judgeable offense right there. Amy, hi all. Not sure what I'll be reading first. Have 4 books on the go. Dinner was angel hair with sauce. Yum.
Ooh, yum.
And Annie says, hi all. Reading Kidnapped in Alaska by Beth Carpenter. Harlequin Love inspired. Excellent.
Ooh, nice.
Very good. Sarah says, hello everyone. I'm currently reading A Batter of Life and Death by Ellie Alexander.
Yay.
The bakery mystery series, I'm assuming by the title.
Yes.
Nadine, hi everyone. I'll be reading a bit of Anne of Green Gables, buddy reading this with Tammy, and Better Than Friends by Jill Shalvis, number 7 in the Sunrise Cove, dinner ganache and veggie sheet pan meal.
That sounds good.
Nice.
I like Jill Shalvis.
I haven't read Jill Shalvis in so long.
I really like her.
I know, me too.
I really loved her Lucky Harbor series, but I haven't liked anything near as much. Like her Wildwood Cove, I didn't care for that as much.
It was more women's fiction-esque than. Now, have you read Animal Magnetism?
Oh, I did like those. Yes,
I love those because they were set in the
those. Yeah,
and the other one
about those because those were even before. I did like those.
The one set in San Francisco.
I don't know about that one.
I can't remember it. When it comes to me, I'll let you know. It was one of her other contemporary romance series. It was really, really good.
I'll have to.
Okay, it's gonna bug me now. Fantastic fiction. Jill Shalvis. And I interviewed her, and she is an absolute freaking delight. I can tell you.
You interviewed her?
I've interviewed her. Yeah, yeah. I luckily got to do it when Brie and I did the Heartbreaker Bay series.
Oh.
The first book is called Sweet Little Lies. They're all available on audio. They're really it takes place in San Francisco, but it's like an apartment complex. So like they're all friends within this apartment complex. So that you got to get this small town.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I have to look that up. I don't think I have. I thought maybe because the series sounds familiar, Heartbreaker Bay, but I don't remember a series about the apartment complex. So I might need to go back and read it.
Sort of like not in but you know what I mean? Like a small area and you know what I mean? It's really, really
That's exciting because I really enjoy her.
Yeah. It was years. I mean, it was like 2001. I interviewed her. It was years ago. Super nice though. Cajun says, hi everyone. I'm reading Roses and Romance at Ruby's Restaurant. Say that 3 times fast. Escape to Nettleford, number 3.
Nice.
Anita, good evening, everyone. Tonight I'm reading Alaskan Blackout by Joanne Rock. I think we might get an Alaska blackout, like an Alaska bingo. Toya, hi everyone. Reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden.
Ooh.
Dinner was fried pork chops, mac and cheese, and for some reason, I have to have peas.
I love peas. That sounds like a delicious supper. And
Yeah.
I'm enjoying The Boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Melmac, hi. Hi, everyone. I am reading Ruby Red Herring by Tracy Gardner, #1 in the Avery Ames Antique series, or Ayers Antique series.
Melmac. Oh, what do we got? Strawberry. Looks like strawberry ice cream.
Strawberry ice cream, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. Catherine, hello, friends. I am reading the Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner starting tonight. I bought that because of the cover.
The cover is stunning. Amazing.
Oh my God. And I read the other one by her, The Lost Apothecary, and I really did enjoy that. So I'm like, okay, I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Carmen says, "Hiya, everyone. I am reading Murder Lo Mein, a noodle shop mystery. Later, I'll switch to Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo." Are you me? You're reading like Sarah.
Right.
I'm loving this. Emily. Hello, Emily. I'm on page 300 of 478 of God in the Woods.
Oh,
wonderful.
You're there.
Ambi, welcome. Hello from my creative corner of creation. And Nadine says, "Sarah, I've read 2 McKenna Lee books from the Home to Oak Hollow series, and I really like them, and I plan on finishing the series. Thank you for doing the monthly author spotlight." Oh, you are so welcome. That's why I do this. I just want to showcase some of these authors. She is fantastic. And I love the diversity she shows with special needs children. I think that's fantastic. Awesome. Esther says, "Thank you." You're welcome, Esther. Angela, hello, everyone. I am listening to Mimi Lee Gets a Clue and reading One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. Excellent. Cajun says to Emily, "You're moving right along. How much longer before school is out?" Was that Brie? Because the girl that I used to do the pod, Brie from oh my gosh, I can't remember her Instagram handle now. But her and I used to do the Categorically Romance podcast together. She posted, because she's a teacher, she's like, "It's the last Monday of school," like.
Exciting.
Abby says, "I'm probably not going to read anything, just crochet tonight." That is a wonderful idea. Nanja says to Kathleen, the Amalfi Curse is on my TBR list. Very nice. Michelle, good evening, everyone. About to go grab some dinner, and then I'll be back. Starting Beach Vibes by Susan Mallory. Also, right there for me to read. I'll get to it at some point.
Also really like Susan Mallory.
Oh, yeah, she's fabulous. Catherine Angela, I can't wait to read it. I got lucky that my library got it for me super quick. Excellent. Crafty Annie says, "Hi, y'all. I'm reading Dean Koontz's The Bad Weather Friend. Hardcover. Loving it. Wonderful."
Nice.
And Angela says, "Catherine, that is great. I can't wait to hear your thoughts." Absolutely. Kat says, "Hey, Sarah, Lee, Tiffany, and friends in the chat. I've been reading The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna throughout the day. Waiting for my hubby to get home. I have some tasks to work on right now. Are you enjoying it?" I really do have to get. I saw the special edition copy when I was at Indigo last week, and I had in my hands. I could not justify the $40. I'm just like,
yeah. It's expensive, but it is very, very pretty.
But it's some of these. It's getting a little out of hand with the special editions. I got to admit,
for sure.
Yes,
for sure. I mean, I know someone who's collected somebody I watch. I don't know them. That's collected like every special edition of the Elsie Silver Chestnut Springs.
All right.
And I think there's like 11 different editions. Why?
That's a lot.
There's how I'm almost speechless. I don't even know why that would happen.
Right.
Like, why?
That's how they get you, though,
Yep.
That's how they get you.
I used to hunt out the UK editions of some of the books because their covers, we've talked about their covers before, that I like their covers better. And I know it was years ago. It was during the pandemic or just after the pandemic, like during one of the lockdowns. The Maisie Yates series, the Gold Valley series, the first book, there was something posted on Instagram, and it was the Australian edition of the cover. And it was stunning, but it was a big trade paperback book of the first book, right? And I don't want to tell you how much money I spent to hunt this thing down and get a copy of it. And then I got to interview Maisie Yates for the podcast, right? So while we were on the video chat I held up the book. She goes, "I don't even have a copy of that." And I'm like, "Score!" Where did you find that?
That's funny.
Sometimes it's the thrill of the hunt. Like, I feel now the special editions are everywhere. Like, they're not special. you know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, that's just my opinion.
And I don't think that they should be allowed to do the, like, you won't get chapter 31 and 32 unless you buy this one from Target, and then you need to buy this one from Barnes & Noble to get chapter 33 and 34. I think that's wrong, because it's just, at that point, it's really money grabbing. If somebody, I don't know, some people can't afford to do all the editions. And I just don't think that they should not get a full story, because...
And what if people only can listen on audio because of eye issues or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, but to me too, the Kristen Hanna special edition makes sense. It's the 10th anniversary.
Well, that would make sense,
right?
I mean, I get
you
that.
Bring out a book, and then 2 months later, let's release the special edition. Anyway, that's
right.
my rant.
Anytime their anniversary, like, that's when I think special edition should happen. Like,
right. Anyway, that's our rant for today. Please join us again.
Sorry.
Jen, hello. Pages in Chaos.
Hey.
I'm starting We Solve Murders tonight. Yay! I love that book so much. And Toya says to Angela, loved Mimi Lee Gets a Clue, and her cat Marshmallow, funny. And we're going to probably start a sprint in a couple of minutes. Kat says, hey to Jen, and hey Carmen. And Cav, hi Cav, good evening. I'm listening to The Faithful Gathering by Leslie Gould, Amish romance. Will I make brownies? Because I'm in the mood. To bake brownies or to eat brownies? That's the question. Both, yeah, exactly. I'm not judging, I'm just asking. Angela says to Toya, it's very funny and I love Marshmallow. Elizabeth! Hey y'all, I finished Variant, which I started last night. Now I have started my reread of Where the Red Fern Grows. Oh, Elizabeth, just checking stuff off the list.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody else finished, but let's celebrate. If somebody else did, I've been trying to add. Nope. So if I missed anything.
Don't apologize. Math is hard.
You're saving lives, killing people.
You're saving lives. I appreciate it. You and my doctors are right up there on my... And Michelle says to Kay, brownies sound yummy. Yes, they do. Mm-hmm. And she says to Lizzie, how did you like Variant? Catherine says, love the term, start it with my eyeballs. A little eyeball reading. Emily says, I just ordered book 3 in the cheese shop last night. Fantastic.
Yes.
They are so hard to, like, even my library doesn't have them. Like, you know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah.
Anyway. And Jen says, hi to Kat and everyone. Cajun says, I want to delay reading Bait and Swiss until after reading her newsletter. Emily says, I'm hoping to become a ghost there. I'm not, okay? I mean, I'm sure Lisa would love somebody to hang out with, but, you know, are you
Lisa needs some company? And I don't know. I think floating around and being a ghost and sabotaging every team would be pretty fun.
The ghostess with the mostest?
That's right.
But what are you, Tiffany? You're solving a crime or you're the killer?
Oh, no, I'm killing people.
Okay.
Murder. Esther says, thanks for letting us know. I thought I had seen a technical message from you, Sarah, and then it was gone. Yeah, I deleted it because I tried it. My camera wasn't working and I was getting all frustrated. I went, let me go into settings. I'm like, oh, just toggle this switch. Okay, never mind. Today wasn't a thinking day. All right. It's my day off. Emily says, hi friends, starting a new book tonight. I think I'm going to start Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. It's the new one, right? I think that's the new one. Again, I have to go look now. I think she's Canadian too.
Oh, it's a triple threat for you right there.
Because I think I read one of her other books, and it is her new book. Yeah, she is Canadian, and I didn't love one of her books.
Oh, I didn't either.
Okay, so it wasn't just
the first one. Okay, anyways, I thought it was all right, but the second one I didn't care for.
Meet Me at the Lake, I DNF'd.
That's the one I didn't like.
Yeah, okay, so it wasn't just me.
But
I do want to try her again. I know you said you've read 2, but I want to give her another try and just see if I like her, you know?
Well, Meet Me at the Lake was like kind of a sequel, and the first one it was okay.
Okay, fair enough. I do like the fact it took place in Muskoka, and, you know, for me, it's like, okay, I know this area, right? But And Carmen says, hey, a cat. Oh, let's jump into a sprint in just a second here. My dinner was mac and cheese with broccoli. Mac and cheese for the win tonight, everybody. And Pat is waiting for dinner, which is baked chicken, rice, and peas. So I'm going over to Pat's house for dinner.
Peas is the veggie for the night.
Peas, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Peas and I almost said KD. Peas and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
All right. So we will jump into a sprint until the top of the hour. Does that sound good to everybody?
Perfect.
Let Tiffany finish doing her math.
Yes, you have 5 minutes to submit. 5 minutes.
Save my life, people.
I hope you make it, Sarah.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I'm more stressed out than before I went into surgery.
And I'm not gonna lie. Well, never
It's
mind.
not looking good.
No, I have no idea what the other teams are doing. I was just gonna be facetious because obviously I'm trying to take you out. So.
I know, of course.
But, oh, well.
Horrible.
Happy reading, everybody.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.
So how did everybody do?
I have 39 minutes left.
Oh, well done. Tiffany?
I got to 28% in the match.
Well,
I am all caught up on everything entered. I was wrong. It's 7:30 Central, so they have till 8:30 my time.
Gotcha.
So you still have a half an hour to enter.
So now there's 30 minutes.
And Sarah has a half hour before she can find out her fate. Probably about 45 minutes because.
Okay. I was going to ask. Yeah.
Okay. But yes, my bad. Sorry. I always forget she talks in Central Time because obviously she's that that makes sense.
So we might know by the end of these sprints, basically.
Yes, exactly. I think we were going to definitely try to because we thought it would be fun for you to announce your own fate live.
Yeah, right.
For us to announce your fate live.
I did start When We Burn on audio because I did get it off of Rant, but it's a dual narration, and I really don't like guys narrating romance novels. That's just my own personal pet peeve. So I'm like, nope. So I picked up the book. So I'm actually 10% of the way through it, and so far I'm liking it. So
nice.
It would not be a book for Elizabeth or Storm. Very spicy and lots of curse language.
Foul language.
Foul language. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Getting back on track. Liking your name there. I have to get back to work soon, but currently reading Eye of the Needle by Ken Follett, which is a spy novel. Pretty good so far. Less than 400 pages. Excellent. And Emily said her dinner was leftover pasta salad. Yum. That sounds delicious.
I had that for lunch.
And Monet, oh, hello, sir. I'm reading a Cape Cod Holiday and I'm loving it. Oh, wonderful. I finished that one last week. It was a delightful, really cute story. And Angela, dinner was Korean beef bowls. I added steamed broccoli and carrots. Yum.
Delicious.
Delicious. And Nadine says, I love the Heartbreaker Bay series. I think Jill Shalvis is an often overlooked author. I concur. And Pat, be right back. Courtney, hi Courtney, happy Monday. I am reading All Adults Here by Emily Straub. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Emily says to Cajun, today was my last Monday of the school year. Woo. I have 6 more days with students and an SIP day, not counting down at all. Emmy says, my phone needs to be charged, so I can't listen to anything. I have no idea what book I would like to read. That's okay. And Kat says, I'm enjoying The Nightingale a lot. It's my first Kristen Hanna. I have to get
Kristen Hanna. Read Firefly Lane.
I feel like it's like a book that would be like a fall read. Like a historical tends to be like colder. But it's funny how you think of those things, right?
Right.
So maybe I'll read it in the fall. We'll see. I'd like to get to it this year at some point. And Cajun says to Emily, oh, that is not too bad. Emily says, so true. Cajun, all of these exclusive chapters and special editions are more about money for the publishers. Oh. And every other books having a special edition makes it not so special to me. I agree.
It also kind of, and I don't want to say like, in a cancel culture, but when people have to pick and choose what to do with their money, it's not going to come down to not buying from that publisher. It's going to come down to not buying that author's next book. That's how people are going to look at it. So
absolutely.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. And then the people you want all your books to kind of be the same, like if they're in a series, you know what I mean? And I noticed that the Tessa Bailey books, the Fangirl Down and then the Au Pair Affair, the third book, Dream Girl Drama or whatever it's called, has sprayed edges. And I'm like, well, the first two don't.
Right.
So I can see all these people being like, and now they're going to re-release. And then I noticed her other book. I was at Walmart the other day, and the summer book, it happened one summer. Yeah. It's now in a hardcover with sprayed edges and the whole kit. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's $40.
Right.
I'm like, I can borrow this from my library for free.
Right.
Like, money is tight now.
And you can go to like a thrift store or something like that, or a library book sale. You know how many books you could get for $40? At least 40.
Right.
Well,
Exactly. I just, I get it. And again, I think it should be more reserved for stuff like the Nightingale. It's a 10-year-old book, Exactly. Bridgerton, when they brought out all these special editions, that I totally understand. Again, that series has been out for 2 decades, anyway, it's a thing.
I get it.
Esther. And what libraries can afford all of those editions? Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Ambi says, buying books has gotten crazy. You almost can't afford to buy regular editions, much less the special editions. I agree with that too. And Jean, hello, almost finished Perfect Marriage. Happy Victoria Day. Oh, happy Victoria Day to you too, Jean. There's a guy that a Canadian comedian I watch on Instagram, and he had a post where he dressed up fully as Queen Victoria. It's quite delightful.
I have a question for you real quick. Maybe this is stupid, but is your money still Queen Elizabeth, or is it?
That's, you know what, Garrett and I were actually talking about that eventually it will change over to, of course, King Charles, I guess, at some point. But right now we still have the Queen on our money. Yes. Okay. Excellent question, because we were saying that when the coronation happened. But
I guess. I've had this $20 bill from Canada in my wallet forever, and I'm like, well, now I shouldn't use it because
but the Queen is still on the money. But I think I have to. Part of me has to wonder if they're kind of like, because he's older,
waiting for William,
right? Are they gonna see if he's gonna like the Queen?
I have no stake in the game, but I wanted to jump over him and go William. You know,
I know, right? He's just so goofy.
Right.
Sorry. Charles is just so goofy. Cajun says, I finished We Solve Murders earlier today, and it was fantastic. The reveal totally surprised me, and that rarely happens. Excellent. Ooh. I loved I can't remember the characters' names now, though. The woman who does the writing, she reminded me so much of like a Jackie Collins, kind of like a persona, you know? Yeah. Brilliant. Catherine says, the SEs special editions are out of hand. I had parts of the Elsie Silver series, the original covers, and between cover changes and all the special editions, it's been impossible or very expensive to get them all to match.
Right?
Yes.
Catherine, I agree. It's insanity.
Yep. Yep. Abby says, that's one reason I mostly read from the library or get used books. Absolutely. I approve of that.
I almost exclusively do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I pay for some subscription services, but I don't order any physical books whatsoever.
Yeah. You don't read a lot physically though either.
No, I don't read any. That's why.
Yeah.
I used to, and I used to only read physically, and I bought books. I still wasn't I bought books because I wanted to read them in the moment. I didn't buy them because I wanted them for my shelf, like you hear people talk about. I kept them when I read them, but I wasn't. Yeah. But once my eyes really took a downhill turn and I went to almost exclusively ebook, it didn't make sense to.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I get it. My aunt and I, there's a library book sale next Saturday. My aunt and I are going to go. I'm going to meet her over there. And she said to me, she goes, I'm probably not going to buy anything. And I said, I'm probably not going to either. But we're going to wander around and probably end up taking pictures of book covers, which we're then going to put those books on hold at the library.
Exactly.
You know? Exactly. It's more just a day out for the two of us, you know? Right? Jean, she is Canadian. Yes, Carly Fortune. Catherine says, my friend bought 4 copies of the Third Crescent City book because they all had different bonus chapters and got caught up in the hype of missing out. She had big regrets, no doubt. Oh, I'm sorry. And I feel bad. It's people are getting, it's a scam.
Yeah. And you figure think about that, 4 special editions at probably $40 a pop.
Let's go on the low end. Let's say 25. She spent over $100. Okay.
It's not, but it's close to it.
Yeah.
I mean, in Florida with the air constantly running, it's not. But I mean, it's essentially, it could be my water bill.
That's a week's worth of groceries, at least, for a single person.
Yeah.
Monet says, the description of this guy, Max, working with swords and knives and metal, I love it. I know they talk about him in the forge and the tattoos up the arm, and I'm just like, yes.
Monet, I love your haircut. I wish that I could pull that off. I think that is so cute on her. Right? I don't have the head shape for it, but I wish I did.
Right? When I first chopped, I was kind of really not regretting it, but I'm like, I wanted to grow it back. But now I'm like, now it's growing out a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it now, I'm looking at pictures of myself with the long hair, and I'm like, no, it's the short hair for me, unfortunately. It's, unless I wear a wig.
And see, when we first met Tiffany, she had long hair. So to me, It's like weird that she even had long hair at one point.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and my hair has never been this short, but when I moved to Florida, my hair so thick.
You're
and
lucky.
So it was really hot. And since it's obviously curly, it literally looked like a lion's mane because it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. It really looked like the color of it. It looked like a lion's mane. So like I was like, okay, it's gotta go. It's gotta go.
Short hair is so much nicer to maintain and deal with, in my opinion. Cajun says, what gets me back in the 70s, 80s, it seems like all the romance book had colored edges, red, green, blue, but now it's a thing. Yes. And she says, isn't it 7:30 Central? Yes.
My bad.
And Abby says, I hate peas unless it is in something like soup or stew.
I love peas.
Emily says, aren't you a mastermind? Technically, yes, but I really haven't participated. So I'm cheering from the sides for the masterminds. Let's put it that way.
And it's funny because the only people we're able to take out is our own.
I know. I'm afraid. Stormy. Hi, everyone. It's all nasty all around us, so opted just to stay downstairs and monitor weather. Not real bad as of yet. Well, we're all thinking about you and keep us posted, please.
Yeah, it doesn't get bad.
Stay safe and calm for you.
Mary Jo says to Emily, I've read every summer after last summer. Excellent. And Jen says, wait 5 minutes. I thought it was 7:20 Central, which would be 8:30 Eastern.
It is.
Mary Jo says, hey, Storm, hope the weather doesn't get too bad for you. And then you were saying, yes, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Sorry about the motorcycles. Cajun says, what did I hear them called on the internet on the weekend? Donor cycles? Have you signed your donor? I'm using that from now on.
Yeah.
Garrett and I joked about it because we saw a big group of them riding when we were going up north. And I said, I want to stand outside the MTO, like our DMV, when they come out, when they get their license, and be like, could you sign this, please?
That'd be cool.
Just in case.
You never know.
You never know. Katie says, I thought that was Maddie's message. Yes. And he said, yes. I always forget it's Central. And Angela says to Storm, I hope the weather doesn't get too bad. Stay safe.
Absolutely.
Valerie, hi everyone. Started Death by Dumpling last night. Yay. Didn't get too far, so I'll be reading that tonight.
I hope you love it.
Enjoy it. Yes. Carmen says, hi, Storm. Monet, Sarah, thank you for recommending a Cape Cod holiday. You are very welcome. If I am here to enable, that is my purpose in life. And Esther says, Storm, good to see you and not getting it too bad. Good thoughts to you and your dad. Absolutely. Okay. Sure. Hi, Sarah, Lee, and Tiffany. Kay says, remember to hydrate, have a snack, check the laundry, take meds, stretch, and show some love to the like button. Also, make sure to sub and ring that bell so you hopefully get notified. Thank you, dear. Thaby, I think I finished reading 3 love-inspired suspense novels this week.
Ooh.
And 1 Danielle Steele novel.
That looks excellent.
Wonderful. Well done. That is a celebration right there.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Mary Jo says, page 176 of 354, hopping off now. Thank you for the sprint. See you next week. You're welcome, Mary Jo. Have a great evening. Ambi says, does anyone know anything about the Janet Daly series New Americana? It looks like they might all be standalones. The first 2 don't sound connected. Looks like each book is, I think that's all it is. I think that's all she did, was just set them all in different states, but I'm not certain. If anyone else knows, please chime off in the comments. And does anyone know if they're connected? Yeah, I think it's just they're all set in different states. That's the whole point. Okay. Hi, Barb. Sorry, I am late. Well, that's just unacceptable. Was reading and listening to my book, The Last Thing He Told Me, moving on to Cheddar Off Dead. Nice. Not eating, but drinking coffee. Excellent. Oh, and late, but not pregnant. At 57, that is just me.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. Better late than pregnant. I will always forget.
True.
Michelle says to Ambi, I read the first 2 and I'm pretty sure they're not connected. So there you go. And Monet, Max kisses Grace and he was wrong for what he said to her. Yes, absolutely. Amy says, I didn't read that sprint. Put in a grocery order and did a bit of research for a book I'm writing. Very exciting.
Oh, that's exciting.
I like that a lot.
Is it a kid's book? I only ask because I know that you always talk
Read
about
them.
books.
Yeah. Let us know, please, if
awesome.
you can. Emily says on page 3, 25 of 477, you are moving right along.
Getting there.
Half an hour. No, I'm kidding.
I read that wrong at first. Jen says, I listened to 2.5 chapters while eating dinner. I thought she said 25 at first. I'm like, girl, you tell me your secrets.
They're what's his name? James Patterson chapters.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like a page, just like half a page.
Yeah. The new one that's coming out in September, the new Alex Cross, is a prequel to Along Came a Spider.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested. Because I like the original Alex Cross books.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Monet says, I am mad at Max in a Cape Cod holiday. I like how I'm finding this out as she's reading it.
Yes.
Play by play. Carmen says at 41% and almost finished the heel on my sock. Yay!
Nice.
I do. For those of you who watch my vlogs or may not watch my vlogs, if you don't watch them all, maybe watch today's. That's going to go up tonight because I'm almost on my current sock and I put a vote out to choose my next sock yarn.
Oh.
So if you want to go on and have a vote when you watch the vlog, they're very, very different yarns in colors.
Okay.
Anita says, I got 77% and have 40 pages left to read. Well done.
Nice.
Excellent. Valerie, only read half a chapter, talked to my sister, and made a to-do list of everything I need to do after work tomorrow, and had McDonald's for supper. Delicious. Nice. Yum.
Very productive.
Toya said she read 30 pages. Angela at 38% and almost finished knitting a mitered square in my blanket. I knit one of those today too. Yay. Courtney got about 20 more pages in and ate some gushers. You guys remember gushers?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Kat says, working on financial tasks, making progress. Oh,
Love
good
it,
for you, but that's not fun. That's adulting at its finest right there.
Yeah.
So you deserve a sticker for that.
Yes. You do. Let's
right?
You should.
Right? And Kim is on chapter 18 and she decided to do mac and cheese. So there's our mac and cheese bingo.
Nice. That is a bingo.
Raising. Hi, everyone. I'm eating a little dinner. Just had frozen chicken ziti with broccoli. Yum. And I also finished this month's Perry Mason. It was number 6, The Case of the Counterfeit Eye. Fun. Excellent.
I feel like broccoli's starting to rival peas tonight.
Right? Green veggies.
Green veggies. Yeah, it's green veggie night. Valerie says to Kat, I finished The Nightingale a few days ago. Loved it. Very emotional.
Oh. Was that the Vietnam one?
Yeah. No, the Nightingale is World War II.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The women is Vietnam.
Women.
So that's now that I'm thinking about it, I might wait till next year to meet because I think one Kristen Hanna novel a year is about my life.
I feel like you need to be in a space that know you can handle one of her books.
Like everything else in life is great.
Because they're all very intense emotionally.
She takes you down that road, as any good story should,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amy said she could be right back. Courtney, yes, the special editions are getting out of hand. Like some books are coming out with sprayed edges right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. And Storm, I will stick to my vintage books with the original sprayed edges.
There you go.
I'm with you on that one, Stormy. And Jen says, book buying has become too commercialized and fell victim to capitalism. It's such a shame, especially because library funding has been cut, so you can't win. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know, they say that too. Even if you borrow a book from the library, but you don't read it, you're still showing your support, for the library. Borrow the book. You might not get to it, but then take it back. But you're still showing your support.
Oh.
That's what I heard somewhere that they were saying, because their funding is based on the number of checkouts and stuff like that. They want people to see that they're being used. You know what I mean?
So maybe I'll just take out the one book I want to read and then just check out a bunch of other ones just to, give them the points or whatever.
Well. Yeah, but I that's my understanding from what I've been seeing online and stuff like that. So yeah.
Especially because I just do digital, so I could easily
Right?
Jen is going to school to be a librarian. Maybe can you tell us if that's true, if you know?
Yeah, I might be speaking out of my, but that's what my understanding is. Because I'm following the Libby app now on Instagram, and I think that they said it on there. So I'm like, Libby app's not going to lie to me. Oh. And Kim says, I love William and Catherine. Yes. Mm-hmm. Kim says, hi, Stormy. How's your weather? Courtney says, I do the same thing at Barnes. I walk around and take pictures of the books and then buy them on Kindle or Kobo.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, even some ebooks are getting a little out of hand on the pricing there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Crooked Lane, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but apparently I am.
Crooked Lane.
Because Crooked Lane is $17 for an ebook.
26 Canadian.
What?
For like a cozy mystery. Like $26, $17.
That's the price of an ebook. Or that's the price of an audiobook. Pardon me, an audiobook.
They just don't want us to be able to afford to do anything anymore, honestly.
I saw last night and I posted it to my Instagram stories. I reposted it. A guy went on this rant about like different book, things that he doesn't like. And he's like, if you buy the physical edition, it should come with a coupon to get the ebook and the audiobook at a cheaper price.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
And people in the comments were like, it's expensive for audiobooks. And he's like, like they could get us some money off,
Yeah, I'm not going to go on a tirade about how once AI takes over doing all the narration, it's not going to be, but they'll be doubling the prices on that for everybody. And then
was it you last night, Tiffany, who said something about that they don't tell you whether it's an AI voice or not? Like you have to look to see if it's an AI voice on Audible. Mm-hmm. You should not be charged for those books. Those books should not be a credit.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, especially because I'm like, I treat my credits like they're the last thing on earth. I hate to use them.
Yes.
There's something, I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it, but in my head, I hate to part with them.
No, you're absolutely right.
If I use a credit on what's a virtual voice, I
don't mind paying for a voice actor to do an amazing job on a book.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
But I'm not paying for AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have an app that I just spent $20 on that will do every book I have for the same price. Sorry. Anyway, this is the rant. Apologies. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Michelle says, hi, Storm. Stay safe. And Stormy says, Kim, it's very noisy, but so far not really bad. But it's one storm after another. Oh. Annie says, got to 74%. They are eating mac and cheese in my book. And Kim says, hope you stay safe. She says, it would be my electric bill since I can't afford to run my AC. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Kim says, I usually keep my hair long enough for a ponytail. That's one thing I do miss is being able to put my hair back. So, Pat says, finish Bait and Swiss by Karina Moss. Definitely 5 stars. Yay! Well done on the finish. Abby says she's back. Pat. Okay, 70 people in the chat and 27 thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thank you. Our slave driver, Pat.
Sarah, I have another rant really quick.
Please.
This is just a one-line rant. I don't know what happened to the Maple Leafs.
Oh.
Okay, that's it. That's it. So, I can't even.
I don't follow this guy on Instagram, but he keeps coming up on my feed, probably because I'm from Toronto or whatever. And I can't remember the guy's name. It's like Coach something or other. But he does these skits, and he pre-filmed one in case they lost or in case they won. And he's like supposed to be the Leafs coach in the dressing room or the changing room after the game. And he's got the golf club in his hand. All right, boys. He's like, that was abysmal. And then there was another sketch I saw. I think I posted it to my Instagram stories, and it was like they called it. They're like, we're trying to get a tee off time, and he's like, sorry, the morning tee off times are taken. Well, who got them all? The Ottawa Senators.
Well, last night, that's funny. Last night, the game was on, and I had already gone to the bedroom to get ready to go to sleep. And Kevin comes in, and he's like, Toronto just scored 3 goals in like 5 minutes. I'm like, yes. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, I meant the Panthers. I was like, you literally was like up here and like stomped on my heart in 5 seconds.
Right.
Don't speak to me anymore. I'm going to sleep. He's like, I meant the Panthers, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I was so excited. I was like, it was hard. It was a hard night.
You saw, if you were driving around town over the last few days, everyone had leaf flags on their cars, on their houses. All of a sudden, it's all gone. It's just like the day after an election, like everything is gone.
Gotta love it.
Kim says, one of these days, I'm going to reread The Promise by Danielle Steele. One of my favorite stories. Oh, that's lovely.
Nice.
Michelle Sarah, how is George liking his Bonkers Purr Pops? George loves the Bonkers Purr Pops. He lives for those things. He will climb up your leg to get them. Elizabeth Cormack. Beth. Hi, Beth. Hi, everyone. I just left Sam's Sprint reading Tess of the Emerald Sea tonight. I am at 4%, also working on finishing a crochet border on my latest knit blanket. Oh, wonderful. We'll jump into a sprint in just a second here. Amy says, I have the first draft of a memoir, but now I'm incorporating children's books and their influence on my life and how to get kids to read and enjoy books. It's been a lifelong dream to write a book. That is wonderful. And hello, Kairu. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
He heard the hockey talk, so he
He's like, I got to come and put my 2 cents in.
Right.
That's right.
Barb says, I'm creating a sock pattern for my toeless foot. There's nothing out there. Well, nothing cute. I legitimately, not to be funny, Barb, have a pattern for yoga socks. They don't have toes or a heel, because when you do yoga, you want to be able to grip with your toes. So, but it's enough to cover your foot to keep them warm. So legitimately, Barb, if you want the pattern, I'll hunt it out for you. Peas and broccoli are neck and neck, says Carmen. All right, so we will jump into another sprint, but we're going to go to 8:50 Eastern Standard Time, or 10:02, and then we'll finish off the comments. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Happy reading, everybody.
Yes.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.
So how did everybody do?
I have 12 minutes left.
Excellent.
Okay.
I finished my chapter that I was reading before the other romance book by Kristen Proby. And then I got a chapter and a half read of I cannot remember the name of it. The Throwback by Lily Chu. So I'm liking that one. Tiffany is waiting for something.
Oh, whether or not you got killed or not, it's 7:50 there.
Drumroll.
Mm-hmm.
We'll jump into some comments while we're waiting for Tiffany. Okay. Kat says to Valerie, I've hit a few emotional speed bumps so far. I'm currently on chapter 28 and I'm terrified for Vivian. And Jen says, yes, it's true. The license for digital books is also based on checkouts. If there's a large demand, they can add more, but it's super expensive. I just did a research paper on it. Thank you, Jen, for confirming. Good to know.
So we were adding everything up. We honestly still just a few more minutes because Maddie's in an area where there's storms too, and she had to go down to the basement for inclement weather. So we're going to let her do that. I suppose. No, kidding. We of course want her to be safe. So she's under tornado warning. So we'll find out very soon.
I suppose that's okay.
I suppose we'll allow it.
I'm just looking this up right now. So because Cage at the next comment, where did it go? Oh, no, it's down a little bit further. Pat says, starting tomorrow, crocheting a baby blanket for my roommate, Christy's daughter, is having a grandbaby in August, and it's a boy. So I need to listen to audiobooks. Oh, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
August is a great month.
Absolutely. A lot of babies in August. And Cajun says, I see on Audible where it says virtual voice, and I just went on to Audible and typed it in. And there are a ridiculous amount of books that are with a virtual voice.
And I know it says it, but it's just like, unless you're looking for it,
right?
Like if you look it up or, you know to look for it, that's like, now I know to look to see if Hoopla's version of my book is in English after having checked something out in German. And
I'm okay with a virtual voice, but I don't feel like I should be using a credit for it.
Exactly.
Not only that, but if it's an audiobook, why is it still going to be $30 for the book if it's an AI voice? You're not paying somebody a wage to do that. So why is it that
They're
expensive?
probably producing it in seconds.
Yeah. I'm not saying do it for free because it's a business, but not that much. It should be less. That should be the incentive.
I feel like they should all be part of the Plus catalog.
Yes.
Where again, you still have to pay for the Plus catalog.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm not going to use a credit for it. And I don't think you should have to.
I downloaded and I'm trying out the Speechify app, the premium version of it, like $20 a month. And I can, whatever ebooks I have on Kindle or even library books I'm borrowing, I can listen to. It's an AI voice. So I'm paying for the service because someone has put that service together. But still.
So
Carmen asked down the road, does anyone know what the cost of Speechify? But you just said $20, right?
It cost me $20 a month. But I think it's like, if you went like by a year, it's like $180 or something like that.
Okay.
But I have another Speechify question.
Yes.
So I kind of asked it yesterday, but I don't. So like when you're listening to not an AI voice, so like a real person, Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Does Snoop Dogg know? Because obviously it's just, you put the book on and they read it. It's not like he's reading every book as you go. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
I know what you're saying.
Say what I mean is, what I guess my question is, like when someone's narrating it, if there's an argument and they're yelling at each other, the narrators are actually portraying that. Are they able to do that? Because that's another like thing with AI is it'll be like somebody screaming at each other and they'll be like, and then she yelled, I hate you.
No, you're correct. Like that's what you're getting. You're getting just it's just reading to you, but it does to me sound cleaner, and the words like they pronounce names correctly. If that makes any kind of sense. right? Like here, the book I'm currently listening to on Speechify.
Chapter 14. My decision. Mia smiled. It was an easy choice. We're two adults who have a mutual attraction for each other. I say we spend some time together and see where that leads.
It just sounds cleaner. It's not.
It's definitely better than AI for sure.
Yeah.
But I just wondered about that because that's one of the things that, like they obviously it doesn't know nuances or, stuff like that. Because how
but
would
I
it?
think
I wonder if with
that it's learned, like not learned because the enhanced voices or the premium voices are people who actually like Snoop Dogg went and said all of these words.
Right.
And then they, you know what I mean? So when I've been listening to these books, sometimes you'll get a question like, should we go for dinner? And you know how when you're asking a question, normally you would say, should we go for dinner? And your voice automatically goes up at the end, right? Mm-hmm. I've noticed that when there's a question mark at the end of a word, that word has that inflection to go up. Or if it's an exclamation point, like in surprise, like, oh, you're here. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're saying a bunch of phrases and the phrases, again, going back to arguing the phrases, I hate you, you're clearly going to say that with venomous, there's probably not going to be a time where you're like, I hate you. I mean, I guess there, could be if the person's being, incredibly sarcastic
it's not aggressive. It's far from perfect. It's far from perfect.
However, just wondered.
Yeah, no, but if you're somebody who really likes audio and, that's your primary way of being able to read books, it's a really great service.
Yeah, no, I think I will try it because I agree with you. Like there are books that I just don't have time to read unless I put them on audio and I don't want to listen to virtual. So I would pay Speechify, even though it's not perfect. It's still a step up and worth it to me.
You can pick your narrator too, because oftentimes we'll get a book and be like, oh, I couldn't stand that. Now I know it's different with actual proper paid narrators, but like I said yesterday, like there are narrators who have Irish accents. So if you're reading a book set in Ireland, you can pick one who's got an Irish accent.
Cool.
So you're going to get that, I think it's really cool. Anyway.
Yeah, that is neat.
Cav says, former librarian here. Yes, book stats are what librarians use to justify budgets. Also use those stats for weeding the collection. So important that check out books whenever you can. There we go. Yay. Oh. And awesome. Beth says, I will stop listening to an audiobook if it switches to AI. Hey, I get it. Pat says, so I will be looking through Hoopla and Libby tonight for cozy mysteries on audio. Wonderful.
Nice.
Cav says, I always check out fave authors' books from the library, even though I've bought the Audible editions just so my checkout is counted in the stats. That's fantastic.
That's awesome, Cav.
Mm-hmm. And Jen says, books have a code for how long it must be in circulation, plus checkouts within a certain time frame to stay in circulation or weeded out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting. Ambi says, I don't even have anything like Kindle Unlimited or like that. Yeah, no, I get it. Libraries are great though. Absolutely great. Mm-hmm. Emily says, my dad would go to the library almost daily and check out huge amounts of books. All the librarians went to his wake and joked that their circulation stats would go way down. Aw, that's sweet. Amy says, the same is true for school libraries. My admin is always liked to know about the circulation stats. Mm. Carmen, Tiffany, you swallowed that nasty rant.
Well, I did because I could have said
right. Ambi says, I have a bone with them anyway. If I have to pay monthly fee, I shouldn't have to pay for each book. But if you're using
Kindle Unlimited, you don't
pay for each book. You can only pick from the Kindle Unlimited catalog. Right? Yeah. And Amy says, Emily, that's funny, but I love that your dad went to the library daily. Yeah, if I was retired, that would totally be me. I would go to the library and just sit and read a book.
Right? What you doing, Kylie?
Beth says, the Leafs forgot they had a game last night. Yeah, they legit did.
Totally, Beth.
Amy says, not in sports, so nothing to add. That's fair.
Listen, between the Blues and then I was diehard. I'm hoping for a Leaf Hurricane Cup. Now the Leafs broke my heart.
There's no Canadian teams left. Like, I don't think there's any Canadian teams left in the playoffs.
So who's playing? Just out of curiosity, because I thought
you guys predicted. Garrett told me it's
Panthers Hurricanes series starts tomorrow, and Edmonton and Jets and Dallas.
Yeah, because Garrett said his thought.
I hope both of them lose. Can I root for both of them to lose? How does this happen?
Well, like Garrett said, he goes, it's going to come down to like Florida, Texas, teams that don't have ice generally outside.
I really don't want to see the Panthers. Okay. I'm done.
Emily says, I'm from the suburbs of Chicago originally. So he went to any library within 30 minutes of us. We also raised $3,000 for my hometown library with donations in his memory. I love that idea. That's fantastic. Barb says, Sarah, I would love that. Okay, I will get on that sometime. Don't rush me. I'll get to it as soon as I can. It's in my massive pile of knitting patterns. Elise says, joining the last sprint here, had dinner and had to water the garden and pick the lettuce and spinach. Delightful.
Nice.
Abby says, love the scene. Thank you. That I just happened. It was one of the things that came up on YouTube. Angel, hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I ate chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes with gravy. I am reading A Good Duke is Hard to Find by Christina Britton. Excellent.
That sounds like an amazing supper.
Right? Mm-hmm. And Annie says, I never buy new books, so I was shocked when I won a hardcover, and it was priced at $30 and $40 for the Canadian, and it was only 200 pages. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hi, Tammy. Sorry I didn't join tonight, Sarah. I'm not feeling well. That's all right, but I had a nice afternoon of listening to an audiobook. That's wonderful, Tammy. And I hope that you're feeling better soon.
Yeah.
And Lisa says, I hope you feel better. To Tammy, and Tammy, feel better? Yes. Elizabeth, someone asked me earlier, so I don't remember how I like Variant. It was good and intense. I'm planning to check out the sequel in the morning. Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Jill says, hello, everyone. Just joining. Welcome, Jill. Abby says, got to go warm up dinner for my mom. She's not feeling well. Oh, that's too bad. Leftover goulash. So good. Rice, ground beef, tomato sauce, cheese, can of corn, can of beans all mixed together in a casserole dish.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
And Angela says, hope you're feeling better, Tammy. And she says, it's topped with cheese. Everything topped with cheese is delicious. It was funny on Friday. Garrett was looking up like diners and stuff to go for dinner one night or something. And he's like, oh, this is a diner. Somebody goes, they're serving liver and onions. And he goes, and they're covered in bacon. And I'm like, bacon does not make everything better, right?
No.
But then immediately it popped into my head and I went, it's my dad's birthday. Like my dad's birthday was on Friday and that was his favorite dish. And it was just so funny that liver and onions pop. You know what I mean? That we talked about that, you know?
Right?
I said somewhere dad was like laughing. Lisa says, oh gosh, that sounds so good, Ambi. It's been forever since I've had goulash.
Yeah, I like goulash.
Jill says, I'm continuing with Page Turner by Viola Shipman, currently on page 119 of 319. Wonderful. Angela saying hi to Jill. And she says, that sounds delicious, Ambi. Pat says, okay, going to tell you all good night. Got a virtual doctor's appointment at 8 a.m. in the morning. Happy reading. Take care and be safe. You as well, Pat. Hope you have a good evening. Well. Lisa says, have a good night to Pat. And she says, much better at hitting those thumbs up. Just need 8 more. She's counting down that one.
Oh, Pat, I love you so much.
Right? Electric Raven. Hi, I stopped by thank you. I'm working on my rewriting my YA dystopian novel. Fantastic.
Very cool. That's awesome.
The next PBR in Kristen's Corner. Hey, ladies, how's it going? Fantastic. How is your night going?
Yay. Finished a book.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, my internet just conked out on me for a second. Okay. We have Kim, finished my book. Love the Laundry Club ladies. And the lack of inconsistencies of proofreaders. The last few have been awful. Oh, I'm sorry. That's frustrating. And Lisa says, read 12 pages of Campfire and Corpses by Nikki Weber. Wonderful. Sue just stopping by to say hi. Hello, hello.
Hi, Sue.
And Lisa says, congrats on finishing your book to Kim. And Jen says, only read 1 chapter that time. Angel's now at 13%. Tonia's at 32 pages. Carmen's at 49%. And heel turn finished. So I'm assuming, Carmen, you do a proper heel flap and gusset, which is probably weird speak to some people. Courtney says, I didn't get to read this time. Took both dogs out right before a huge downpour. Yay, Minnesota. Then hopped into a warm shower. Oh, that's
Nice.
lovely, lovely. Katie got to 49% and got a phone call. If she hadn't gotten the phone call, she would have finished.
Exactly.
She'd be done.
You know, Jill says, I'm now up to page 125. Beth says, ate dinner, so didn't get much read, but got the chapter I was on finished. Wonderful. Angela got 41%. Kat says, my hubby got home and cooked us tacos with brown turkey, and beans. Finished my financial task. Fantastic.
We shall celebrate. I feel like that's very productive and very adulty of you.
Emily says, given that we got golf ball size hail on Thursday and a major dust storm Friday, I'm good with people taking cover when they need to. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Carmen asked about the cost of Spotify. You know, I walked my dog during that sprint. Wonderful. Nice. Sarah, Tiffany, I laugh that you found a German book, but I have never come across one, and I use Hoopla all the time and never check and have not had that problem.
Yeah, they have German, French. I think that's it. I've never seen Spanish. I've only seen German and French, I think.
I've gotten German before, yeah.
Carmen says, thanks. Good information about Speechify. You're welcome. Barb, Snoop Dogg is the best narrator. My brother got such a kick out of that on Saturday when I was doing it.
Love that.
Tiffany, what they do for a person is have them read the words, then they put them all together. Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Stormy says, 4% into Witch in the Woods, Serial Chiller #1 by Jennifer Killick. I just watched your TBR video, Storm, because I'm slightly behind. I don't recall that book being, and I'm just kidding. Oh, please. The amount of books I'm reading that were not on my TBR video is insane. Carmen, there are books that don't have audio. I would think it would be helpful for that. That's what I was thinking about, like the Cheese Shop series. The first 3 are on audio, and then Kaputskis, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Kim says, thanks to the lost coffee mug. I'm just picturing these narrators, like Snoop Dogg, being asked to narrate like every word known to mankind. You know, like I'm thinking about like, because some of the words that have come up in some of these books are stuff that you don't read all the time.
Right.
I'm thinking the cheese shop with the different cheese names. I'm so tempted to see if they would pronounce them correctly. Do you know what I mean?
Well, his experience with Martha Stewart, he would definitely get the culinary word correct. He'd be like, I know what this is. I have a recipe about this.
I still want at the end of him narrating a book to go fishnizzle. You know, like,
right? Exactly. And so, I mean, honestly, Snoop Dogg was the best part of the Olympics to me this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
was watching him and all of his interactions with the athletes.
He's hilarious.
I love him so much. I loved him on The Voice. I don't even really watch The Voice. I just kind of tuned in for the auditions to watch him. I love him. I don't know.
I saw him in an interview on one of the late night shows, and he was talking about, because he's got grandkids, right? Yeah. And when he goes to his grandkids' parties, he's got to dress up in costume, or else he gets bothered by his other parents.
So
yes.
He's been married forever. I love him so much.
He's delightful. Hilarious and delightful. And Beth says the Oilers are still in. Yes. And Michelle says to Lizzie, that was me. I've always wanted to read it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's okay, Sarah. We cool. Thanks, Bert. I was concerned.
Oh.
Beth says, Blues broke my heart. Really want the Canes to win it all. But at this point, as long as the Oilers don't win the cup, I'll be happy.
So I agree with every part of this statement, except Blues broke my heart. I really want the Hurricane to take it all. But as long as the Stars don't win, I'm cool. I don't want the Panthers to win. I want the Hurricane to take it. So I don't want the other team, but I really don't want to do the Stars.
Sarah Beth says, I'm starting the 7th Jacket Reader. Just started. Wonderful. And Cajun likes liver and onions. Cajun! I'm surprised. Ambi's back. And she says, got a sandwich myself. Not enough goulash for me. I let my sister have the rest after my mom. Oh, that's nice.
Very nice.
And Carmen says, yep, heel flap and gusset. Yep, I do the fish lips kiss heel because I'm lazy. Books and things with Alicia. Hello, friends. Just joining after getting kiddos to bed, moving to the bedroom. I'm ready to read. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Kim says 216 days of Kindle reading in a row. Well done.
Wow, very good.
Like, you're not supposed to know that. It's part of the unofficial TBR. Oh, Storm.
Well, maybe don't make a video of your official one.
Right? Right? Abby says, who can attest to it sweltering hot in Georgia?
Oh, I don't know about Georgia, but man, Florida was baking today.
Later on this week, we're going to get highs of the 50s. I cannot wait. So excited.
You're like me. That's the weather we're having too.
I'm like, please get here.
Yep. Congrats to Kim. Abby says, I only ever watched the auditions on The Voice.
Yeah, same.
I have never watched any of those singing shows ever.
I only, and I haven't in years, but only The Voice auditions, and then I'm like, I don't care what happens, just who's the winner at the end.
Yeah, I don't care moving on. But I do like to see the audition part.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't ever watch any other part of the season. And I'm not faithful to even watching those.
That's exactly whenever.
Beth says Snoop Dogg and Flava Flav were the most surprising and enjoyable things at the last Olympics.
Exactly. I 1000% agree.
Carmen says, Tiffany, are you choking?
Believe me, to say that the Blues choked this year is a vast understatement. When you are up, okay, never mind. Moving on. Yes.
Angela's cheering on Kim. Lisa says, yeah, where I'm in Florida, it was a high of 96.
Oh, Alicia, what part of Florida are you in? If you want to say. I'm in the Sarasota area.
Kim says, yes, for hot in Georgia, and the fireworks are starting, because of course they are. Great. And Sarah says, Pennsylvania is supposed to hit the 40s this week. Lovely. Kim says, thanks, y'all. Abby says, super jealous of Lee and Sarah with our lovely cool weather. Jill says, we were cold today, 50, so maybe 60 in Massachusetts. And then breezy, too. Felt more like fall. My guilty pleasure was Flavor of Love. Who's with me? I don't know what that one is.
I think it's a reality show, but I've never seen it. But
And Storm says, we have several days of highs in the 60s. Why this is magic as it's May. What is this magic as it's May?
Love it.
Well, we had, I think it was like, I had a jacket on going out today. But then as soon as you get in the car, because the car's been sitting in the sun, it's 1,000,000 degrees inside the vehicle. And you're stripping off your coat, then you're driving, then you got to get out of the car, put your coat back on. I hate that. I hate it. Anyway, that's a thing. And Lisa's, I'm with you at Ambi. That show is such a guilty pleasure. Do we know my fate yet?
Show. What's
Tiffany?
That?
Do we have my fate yet?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll find out whether I wake up and I shouldn't say that. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
But so that's it. We're basically at the end of the sprints. I was into Rock of Love, says Beth. And Ambi says it was years ago. Trash TV. It's
Michaels, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I never watched it either, but I
just remember the show.
Yeah.
Sarah says, I have the problem working at 5 a.m. and it's 20 to 30 degrees warmer when I leave. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I like 70s year round and no humidity. It's the humidity that's killer.
That is the killer, is the humidity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lee, anything coming up on your channel?
Tomorrow I have a tag coming out.
Yay! Ooh. Wonderful. And just for anyone who wasn't here yesterday, Tiffany, what about you?
Yesterday I had the spring/animal box for Cozy Books Corner.
Okay.
So I did the unboxing for that, and then I have a few shorts coming out of some of the stuff I've read, and my wrap up. I'm just now getting to my wrap up. It'll come out on Thursday for April.
Hey, it is what it is.
For my Cozy Mystery wrap up, my April romance wrap up will come up next week.
Excellent. Fantastic.
How about you?
Just probably the vlogs. I don't have any major plans for other videos, like other than that. But I think I said in my vlog today, like I'm really liking doing the Speechify thing, but I'm gonna give it another couple weeks, and then I'm gonna do a full video with my. But I want to use it for a bit before I really talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sarah, have you ever done a video using the ranking thing?
What do you mean? Oh, like the A, B, C, D, like the tier ranking? Yeah. I've never done one of those. Okay. Yeah,
I was trying to figure out that app, and it was giving me such a hard time. And I'm like, dang you, technology.
I know. I might be speaking out of turn, but why do I think Storm's used it?
She used something in Canva, and I don't know if I could do it there. I need to talk with Storm.
Yeah, see if
with Storm and see, because I really liked what she did in Canva.
Yeah, I love this. If I see a pair of broken knitting needles tomorrow, I know if you've made it or not. I know that's how I'd be killed, I'm sure, with the pair. Right? Nia says, thanks for the sprints. Hope everyone has a healthy, safe week. Hope to see you all soon. Good night. Same to you. Thanks for the sprints. Good night.
Good night.
Good times. Thanks. Sprints, not prints. It's 73-86. Oh, thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Lee and Tiffany. Have a great week, everybody.
You
and
too.
we'll see you later. Bye,
everybody.
Bye,
thanks, Sarah. Bye, Lee.
Bye.